Hi Prakash. Actually, I already started. I took one class previously. This is our second demo. Okay. So as you are, newly joining, and as it's your first class, let me just quickly introduce myself with you. I'm Divya. I have about 7+ years of experience into data analytics. I'm currently working as a senior data analyst in one of the MNCs in Hyderabad, and I completed my master's in data science, and I have about 4+ years of experience into training. I have experience in teaching all the data science concepts, that is SQL, Tableau, Power BI, Python, statistics, and machine learning. So this is about me. So Monica, you already attended our previous class, right?
Yeah, Divya.
Yeah, okay. So Prakash, in the previous class, I just gave a small introduction about Tableau. So before that, please let me know, do you have any basic knowledge on SQL? Are you from IT background or non-IT background? That's
Ma'am,
great. Okay.
yeah,
Yes,
I'm
please.
not from IT background, but
Okay.
I know basics of SQL.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So now you are trying to transit your career to no, IT, from non-IT to IT?
Yeah.
That's okay. If that is so, you chose the perfect subject, data analytics or any visualization tool. Basically, if it may be Tableau or Power BI. If it is, especially for the candidates who are looking to transit their career from the non-IT to IT background, this data visualization tools will help you to do that. Okay, because this is a non-coding platform. In Tableau there won't be any coding, and in the data analytics it's one such field that domain knowledge is also required. Like if you are from non-IT, you will have the separate domain knowledge on your particular domain, right? That will also help us and act as an added advantage for you. Okay, so as I said previously, in the last class, I just shown the user interface of a Tableau, and we created one graph. Basically, today also, let's see. I will use another Excel file. Okay, so that first let me quickly, after opening the Tableau, this is the page you can see. Okay, towards the left side, maybe basically Tableau, in the sense we will deal with data only, right? We need to analyze the data. We will create, Tableau is a visualization tool. We will analyze the data and we will create some graphs, correct? So let me show you once again quickly the user interface, and let's create another graph today. Okay, so once you got registered, I will show you the installation process. And for now, after opening Tableau desktop, this is the page how you can see. Okay, towards the left side you can able to see the connect panel. And as we are dealing with the data can be in any format, right? It can be in the form of Excel file, it can be in the form of text file, like that it can be in the form of any kind of database, right? We need to connect to that data, then only we will start analyzing all the reports or all the graphs in the Tableau, right? So to connect with the data, we have a connect panel towards the left side. You can see here we have Excel text file, like that we have all the files, and we have some servers also over here. If I click on more, it will show us the list of databases available. Okay, so and in the between, whatever you can see below open is basically the all the recent open graphs. This graphs, I whatever I opened recently, the list of that graphs will be existing here. Okay, towards the bottom left you can see something called as saved data sources. We have two data sources here. One is sample superstore and world indicators. These data sources are provided by Tableau for practice purpose. Okay, you can just use this to once you learn some concepts, you can use this to practice that concepts. Okay, basically this in this we have all the data. Okay, so this is about the first page. Now, previously in the last class, I connected to one Microsoft Excel file, but as that was the first graph, we used only sample employee Excel file, right, Monica?
Yeah.
So today, let me show you some advanced concept. First, I will quickly I mean, it's not quickly. First, I will show you we have sample superstore data, right? First, let's connect to that Excel file and let's create some graphs. After that, I will show you how we will connect to my SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server also today. Okay, so this is the Excel file. I mean, whatever we want to connect, we need to choose from here. So as we are going to connect with the Microsoft Excel file, I need to click on this one. Okay, and then it will allow me to select any of the Excel files from our laptop. I'm now selecting sample superstore. I'm clicking on open. So immediately we will get into this page. Okay, as I said previously, this page is called as data source level. Towards the left side you can see something called as data source. And one more thing, Prakash, as I said, I covered, I mean, this is our second demo. In the first demo, it's also, I just given the small introduction of Tableau and I showed the same process, but I used a different file. Okay, so nothing, you didn't miss anything. Okay, whatever I taught on the previous day, that will be covered in this class also with some different file. All right, so you can see immediately after connecting to the Excel file, we will get into this page, and towards the bottom left, you can see something called as data source here. This is called as data source level. Okay, here we can see something called as connections. Below that, we can see to what file we got connected. It is showing sample superstore is the file name and the file format is Microsoft Excel, right? Here, if we connect to the SQL server also, it will show the SQL server here. Whatever we will connect, that file name or that database name will basically display here. Okay, below that, as we are connected to the superstore data, this is an Excel file. Let me open that once again. Okay, basically this is the file which I got, which I used to connect in Tableau. Okay, this is sample superstore data. That means basically a superstore data. That means we will have many supermarkets, right? In the same way, the same data will be there in this. This is all about the sales data. Okay, we have some columns over here. Going forward, we will discuss what is this and everything. For now, just try to understand this is something like a sales data. Okay, in this you can see we have three sheets. One is orders, one is people, and one is returns. In orders, we have all the details like row ID, order date, ship mode. This are all some, the details belongs to the order details. Okay, and the ship mode, customer ID, customer name, then a segment. Okay, basically we will sell all some products, right? So in what segment that product belongs to, and this is the location details. Next we have some postal code, a region. Next we have some product details, that is the product code, category and subcategory of the products, and product name. Okay, next we have some numerical details here like sales, quantity, and discount and profit. Okay, these are all the columns which we have in orders sheet. Okay, next we have people sheet. There you can see only people, in the sense maybe the region wise regional managers details we have in this sheet. And returns, in the sense, suppose these are all my order IDs. I sold some, that superstore sold some products, and these are all the order IDs they got. Okay, basically after selling any order, we will generate an order ID, correct? If it is Amazon, if customer ordered something from Amazon, after the transaction is finished, after the order got placed, one order ID will be received for that particular order, correct? So the in whatever details we have in the order detail orders tab, that everything belongs to the order details. Okay, in the return details, suppose after ordering something for some reasons, some products will get returned, right? Some customers will raise a request for returns. So that details, that returned details is there in this, okay, in this sheet, the sheet called 3, that is the order ID. This all order IDs is returned for me, okay. All the returned details are existed in this third tab. So like that, we have 3 sheets: orders, people, and returns. This is about the sample superstore data. I just shown you in Excel file. I'm just closing this. Now, this one only we just connected in the Tableau. Okay, after connecting, you can able to see this 3 sheets here as I shown in the Excel file, that is orders, people, and returns. Correct. Now, what we will do first, for now, let's work on orders. So whatever sheet we want to work, we need to just drag it out. I'm dragging this orders, and we need to drop it here. Immediately, all the data what was there in the orders sheet of my Excel file is it will be displayed here, right? You can able to see this, the same columns: row ID, order date, ship date, like that. Whatever columns we saw in the Excel file, all that column names we can view here. Correct. Basically, we connected the Excel file, and we got that, or we just connected that Excel file to the Tableau, and we got that data in the Tableau level. Okay. So here towards the top right, you can see something called as connection. You can see my screen, right? Yeah. Okay. So in the top right, we have something called as connection. Okay. As I said in the previous class, let me once again repeat. As I said, the data can be in any format. It can be in the form of Excel file, it can be in the text file, like that, correct? But whatever it is, the data will be somewhere. Suppose, imagine we are connecting to the database, and just imagine this is my database, okay, where my data is present. Okay, this is my database, in this database. Or else, whenever we are working in the real time, we will work for our clients, right? So imagine this is our client's database. Okay. And basically, being a Tableau developers, we will work on Tableau desktop. Correct. Tableau desktop is the place where we will create all the graphs and where we will analyze the things. Okay. So imagine this is a Tableau desktop, and imagine that is the database. We need to connect to the client's database, or whatever it is, we need to connect to the database. Then only we can get that data into the Tableau level. Correct. So for that, there should be something in between which helps us to create a communication path between the database and the Tableau desktop. Correct. There should be something in between which helps us to connect the database to the Tableau desktop, right? That is called as Tableau connection. Okay. And we have a separate concept on Tableau connection. In that class, we will discuss this detail about the Tableau connection. Basically, we have 2 Tableau connections here. One is live connection, and another one is extract connection. Okay, that one only you can able to see towards the top right corner here. Okay, what is live connection, what is extract connection, in which scenarios we will use a live connection, and in which scenarios we will use extract connection, everything we will see in that Tableau connections class. Okay, but by default we will be on the live connection. In which scenarios we will use extract connection, we will discuss later. But that is what we can see in this. After connecting the data from the data source, in the data source level, after dragging the data to the Tableau level, we can see the connection towards the top right corner. Okay. And if you observe here, again, Tableau is very smarter enough. As I said, in SQL, if you know SQL, whenever we are creating any tables, we will define data types, right? We need to define everything very manually. Whenever we are creating the tables, we will define data types manually there. But here, Tableau is smarter. Once it just captured the data for every column, it Tableau automatically recognizes the data types. Okay. So basically, we have in Tableau also we have a data types. That is, we have numerical data types. Okay, numerical data types in the sense where we can store numbers. Correct. Basically, in SQL also numerical data types in the sense we will have int and float. Right. If you have the basic knowledge of SQL, we will have data types, and in that data types we have numerical data types. And int and float are a type of numerical data types, right? In the same way, we have character data types, that is char and varchar in SQL. But for now, let's do not discuss that detailedly about this data types. But to get some normal idea on Tableau, as we know, we have numerical data types, we have character data types, we have date data types, and we have geographical data types. Fourth one is geographical data types. Okay. So basically in Tableau, mostly we will use this four data types only. And here we won't define any data types manually. Tableau is very smarter. Once it detects the data, it automatically detects the data types which can be observed here. Okay. Here, if you can see, we have some symbols. Order ID, we have order ID column. And above that, you can see some hash symbol, right? Hash indicates numerical data type. Okay, hash in the sense numerical data type, ABC in the sense character data types. And as I said previous in the last example, we solved one small we connected to one normal Excel file in which we have only three columns over there. There we can able to see only numeric this hash and ABC, right, Monica? And of course, Sweta, we saw only the numerical columns and character data over there. Now, as this is a little bit of big data kind of thing, we have many columns here, and for that we can observe each and every data types. As I said, for the date data type, we have numerical data type. The symbol is hash here. And for character data type, the symbol will be ABC here. And we have one more symbol called as calendar symbol. This is, it indicates date data type. That is, we have order ID, and the data inside will be in the basically date formats only, right? In the same way, for ship date, we have calendar symbol here. That means date data type. Like that, we have geographical data type for all our you know regions or countries, cities columns. Basically, this is a country. Next we have city column. Next we have state column, and next we have postal code column. Basically, this all columns talks about the uh, you know as we know, it's about the geographical, it talks about the location of locations, right? So for all the locations, for all such columns, we will have geographical data types, and the symbol is globe. Okay, basically whenever we are creating the graphs, this data types will also help us to understand, to choose the relevant graphs, I can say. For all the this location kind of graphs, we will basically create maps. We have many different types of graphs, right? So we have some geographical based graphs, something like we can call it as maps also. We will use this kind of columns over there. Okay, I hope it is clear for you. Anyways, going forward, whenever we are creating all the graphs, we will see everything very practically. Okay, in the same way, for the remaining columns also, we can able to see some symbols. Okay, as I said, hash for is for numerical data type, ABC character data type. This is for calendars. This calendar symbol is for date data type, and globe symbol is for geographical data type. We didn't did anything. Once data is connected, data types are automatically detected here. Correct? And towards the right side, we can see the count of rows also, 100 rows. Correct? So this is about the data source page. Data source level, we can able to see all these things. Am I clear so far?
Yes, Divya.
Great. So next, to create the graphs, we need to go to the sheet level. We have here towards the bottom left, you can see this is data source and this is sheet level, right? So we need to click on sheet 1. When immediately after clicking on sheet 1, we will get into the sheet level. Okay. So this is the place where we will create all the graphs. Okay. So you can see here you can see a symbol called as a database symbol. Basically, this is not database, but by default, whatever this one, okay, the symbol. maybe the database symbol. Of course, we didn't connect it to the database, we connected to the Excel file only, but whatever format we connect, when after getting into, after whenever we enter into the sheet level, we can see this symbol only. In this symbol, it will show us to what we connected. It is showing for sample superstore data, I am using orders tab here, right? That is what it is displaying. Below that you can see something called as tables, and below that you can see the list of all the columns available. Whatever columns I saw in the Excel file and whatever columns I saw in the data source level, all that columns in the sheet level is displayed towards the left side here. Correct? And if you observe, there is a separation or there is a line in between. Correct? I said this point in yesterday's class also. Again, I'm repeating. Basically all our columns, again Tableau is very smarter here. It automatically divides the columns into two parts. Okay, the first part is called dimension, and the second part is called measures. Okay, all the columns are divided into dimensions and measures. Okay, so how, what is dimension and what is measure? In the sense, for basically all the numerical columns, for easy understanding I can say all the numerical columns or all the numerical data type columns comes under measures. If you can see here, we have discount, profit, quantity, sales. Okay, these are all our measures. Okay, these are all the columns, and whatever you can see down, these are all not the columns. Okay, basically this is not our columns. It is just showing like this, but it is not the columns. We don't have these columns in the sheet. By default it will show like this. If we have some globe data here, it will show by default. Let me clear this. By default it will show like this: latitude, longitude, orders of count, measure, values. These are not the columns. What is this, we will discuss later. So up to here only, the columns, the list of the columns are there up to sales. Okay, so as you can see, here is the separation line, and below this, below the separation line, the columns are called as measures, and above part is called as dimensions. For better understanding, we can think like, or we can understand like, all the numerical data type data comes under measures. Okay, and remaining everything apart from the numerical data, it may be character data type, it may be date data type, and it may be geographical data type. All those data types data comes under dimensions. This is a good way of understanding the difference between dimensions and measure, but this is not the actual concept. The actual concept here is basically all the numerical columns only, but again there is a concept over here, that is all the columns on which we can perform any kind of calculations or aggregations. Calculations in the sense, as we know in mathematics, we will have, if we can perform any kind of calculations, maybe arithmetic calculations, that is plus minus into division, or else if we can able to find any percentages. Okay, we have percentages, and in the same way, if we can able to find any types of calculations on that columns data, on the data of that columns, or we have some aggregate functions in SQL. As you know, we have some like some minimum, maximum. If you don't know this also, going forward we will learn it. Okay, for now just understand we have some aggregate functions in SQL, that is some minimum, maximum, count, and average. If you can see about this functions also, basically all these functions we will perform on the numerical data only, right? Sum in the sense we will do some addition, minimum in the sense in the list of numerical values, what will be our minimum value, in the list of all the numerical values, what will be our maximum value, what is the count of the numbers, count of the rows, I can say average. On the numerical values only we can perform the average, right? So basically on whatever column we will perform all these aggregate functions and all the calculations is comes under our that columns comes under measures. Okay, remaining everything comes under dimensions. Okay, this is the correct concept, or this is the correct understanding of the difference between dimensions and measures. Because you can see here we have some columns in dimensions, that is like row ID, right? product ID. Let me use another color here. See, we have row ID, right? We have order ID, we have product ID. Basically, in these columns, we will have numerical data only, correct? In order ID, we will have some numerical data. Let's see, let's go to data source level and let's observe. If you can see here, my screen is, but just try to see here. In row ID, we have some numericals, right? Likewise, we have product ID and one second. We have customer ID and okay, like this, whatever IDs we have numerical values. Let's see about row ID. We have numerical values only in it. In row ID, basically we will store all the numerical values, product ID, order ID, everything, customer ID. Basically, those are IDs. Okay, it will contain numerical values only. But again, on those data, on maybe row ID, order ID, we won't perform any calculations, right? That is a fixed kind of data. We won't change them. We won't perform any operations on them. It may be customer ID, it may be order ID, product ID, whatever ID we have, that will be static data, right? It is a fixed data. We won't change them. We won't change any we won't perform any calculations on them, right? So that kind of fixed data, or that kind of new, if it is, in row ID we have only numerical column, as you saw in the previous example. Maybe in this product ID we have, it's a combination of, here we have maybe some code like this. It is a combination of characters and uh, numbers. That is the reason it took the character data type here. But again, let's concentrate on row ID only. In this row ID, we have only the numericals, only the numbers. If you can, let me remove this, only the numbers. And if you can see, the data type here is ash. That means row ID belongs to numerical data type only. But again, if you see in the sheet level, that row ID came into the dimensions part. That is the reason, that is the explanation behind that. Okay, because row ID is on the row ID column, we won't perform any calculations, we won't perform any aggregations. That data is not dynamic, that is static data. We won't make any changes on that data, right? It is fixed data. Like that like that kind of data, that means on the column, on the numerical columns, if we cannot perform any calculations and aggregations, and if it is that static data, that kind of columns also automatically comes into dimensions only. Okay, am I clear, guys?
Yes, Divya.
Okay, great. So this is about the dimensions and measures. Okay, all the columns will automatically, Tableau divides them into dimensions and measures. Okay, next we have something called as rows and columns here. This is the place, basically we need to select, or we need to drag this row columns into this part, then only we can able to create the graphs. Towards the top right you can see something called as show me button, show me option, right? That means we have below, see, if I click on show me, it is showing me the list of all the graphs. We have almost 24 graphs here. These all graphs are inbuilt graphs. By default, we will get all these graphs, and by default, before selecting the data, all the graphs will be disabled. Whenever we select any data, the relevant graph will be enabled for us. Okay, and we have 24 inbuilt graphs here. But apart from this, we have many advanced graphs. Along with the inbuilt graphs, in our course we will learn advanced graphs also, how to create advanced graphs. We have many graphs like maybe waterfall chart, funnel chart, donut charts, and we have word cloud charts. We have many more actually. How to create them, to create basically the inbuilt graphs. After selecting the data, directly if we select the graph will be created. But to create the advanced graphs, we need to follow some process. We need to follow some step-by-step procedure to create the advanced graphs. Everything we will learn very practically. Okay, so this is about the show me option. It will just contains all the inbuilt graphs over there. Okay, next we have some shelves here, pages, filters and marks. Basically in filters shelf, whenever we created any graphs, if we want to apply any filters, we will use this filters card. And in the marks card we have many options here like color, size, text. These are all something like settings we can say. After creating graphs, if you want to change the color, if you want to change the size of the graph, if you want to enable or disable the text, we will use this one. Okay, and we have a menu bar here. We have many options. Going forward we will see what all how they are useful. Okay, for now let's create a graph here by using this data. So let me see the data. This is dimensions and this is measures. We can select as we want. Basically in real time, as per the client's requirement, we will select the columns and we will create the graphs. Here let's create, maybe we have some category subcategory data. So let me double click. See, again, to create the graph, either we need to drag this category and drop it in the rows part. Here you can see, here we have rows, right? We have rows and columns. We need to drag all the columns and we need to keep it in the on the rows or columns. If I want to analyze subcategory wise sales, what I can do, I just drag the subcategory and keep it in the and placed it on the rows. And if I want to analyze subcategory wise sales, I will drag this sales and keep it on the columns. Okay, immediately some related graphs are enabled for me, and by default this horizontal graph is created because this is the best, the best graph out of all the graphs. This graph is the best way to understand or analyze this data. That's the reason automatically we got this graph. But for this data, whatever graphs are enabled, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 graphs are enabled for us, right? So all 9 graphs are applicable for this data. Okay, that is the concept here. And if you can see here, whenever I'm keeping cursor on the particular graph, at the bottom you can see the graph name and the prerequisites. Like, if I'm keeping my cursor on this, it is showing the graph name is horizontal bar, and at the bottom it is showing a 0 or more dimensions, 1 or more measure. Again, this is called as dimensions and this is called as measures. It is saying me to create this graph, one measure is needed for me. At least one measure is compulsorily needed to create these graphs. 0 or more dimensions, to create these graphs, one measure is needed. And again, depending upon our analyzation, we will select the dimensions. Here maybe if I wanted to analyze the sales on with respect to the subcategory, that is, I want to analyze subcategory wise sales. That is the reason I selected subcategory, and subcategory is the dimension here. So 0 dimensions, one measure is required. That is the reason we selected sales. And here 0 or more dimensions, in the sense, according to our requirement, according to our analyzation, we can choose the how many dimensions we want. Okay, that is the concept here. And I mean, that is what it is indicating here. For every graph it will show what is the requirement to create that graph. If you can see, this is called as stacked bar. It is showing me one dimension and one measure is the minimum requirement to create that graph. Okay, so now let's concentrate on the graph. So I just selected subcategory, I dragged the subcategory and I kept it in the row self. I dragged the sales and I kept it in the column self. And here one more thing is that all the measures, whenever we select, if you can see here, it will be stored in an aggregation level, right? Subcategory is stored normally, but if you can see sales, instead of displaying sales, it is displaying sum of sales, right? That means, I mean, it's not that necessary to understand the concept here, but by default, Tableau will takes all the measures in the aggregate level only. Like, maybe some, maybe count, like that. Going forward, we will understand that. For now, just try to understand. We just used subcategory and sales here, and I dragged the subcategory to the rows part, sales to the columns part. Again, if you may get doubt that how to know, you know I should keep subcategory in rows and I should keep sales in the columns. If we don't know also, no problem, we can directly double click on this instead of dragging and dropping. First let me clear this page. To remove this we have two options. Okay, one is directly we have this option, or else see if I want to remove this, suppose if I want to remove subcategory, there is a drop down here. If I click on this drop down, if I click on remove, it will go. Or else directly we have this icon here. You can see this cross mark on the graph. If I click here, everything will be erased from my sheet. Okay, this option, this option now this is disabled for me because here nothing is there, right? That's the reason. So now instead of, if you get doubt that how to know, if I choose the dragging and dropping option, how to know to whether to keep subcategory in rows or column, if that is your doubt, instead of dragging and dropping, we can directly double click also. I'm just double clicking on the subcategory, it automatically went into the rows part, right? I'm just double clicking on the sales. By default it will go to the columns part, but you can see that in the marks shelf here. Okay, but at the back end it will go to the columns part only. Okay, accordingly, and I got the same graphs which I got previously. Now I can select the graphs. See, if I select, this is the text table. The first graph is called as text table. If you can see, that is something like Excel file only, it will show the details normally. Okay, and next we have, let me create horizontal bar. So I just selected this. This is the horizontal bar. You can see here we have on the x-axis we have sales. In the y-axis we have subcategories. Okay. Even we can interchange them also. Okay. So to interchange them, basically we have an icon here. Okay. If you can see, we have an icon here, or else directly by using our keyboard we can click on Control W. If we do so, it will just interchange from rows to column. Okay, let me just click this. If you can see, it got interchanged, right? In the x-axis I got the names, and the y-axis I got sales. Like that, even we can interchange rows to the columns. In the same way, just imagine after interchanging here also, my subcategory came to the columns and sales went to the rows. This one also will interchange automatically. Now I have subcategory in columns. If I click on interchange, my subcategory will come to rows. Basically we are interchanging rows to the columns, right? So by default here also we can observe that changes. Okay, like this we can interchange according to our, it's completely depends on every individual, every analyst, how they want to analyze. They can do. Okay, and again it depends on the data. However, on depending on the particular data, we will understand that what is a good way of representing, right? Representing a graph. In that way we will use this rows and columns. There is no such rule. Okay, it's completely depends upon the analyst choice only. If I think that this is a, like if I keep the rows and columns like this, by keeping like this, if I can analyze the graph in a proper way, I will keep as it is. If you think by interchanging this, if you can analyze the graph properly, you can keep like this. Okay, it's completely depends on our choice. However, it won't affect anything, we can still analyze the same. Okay, so this is about it. And especially in horizontal bar, we can even sort the data in either ascending order or descending order. We have options here. See, this is the ascending order symbol. It sorted the data in the ascending order. If I click on this, it sort the data in the descending order. Like this we can even sort the data, especially in the horizontal bar. Okay, this is how we will create the graph. In yesterday's class also we did the same, but we used some sample data over there because yesterday was our first class. So now by using the sample superstore data, we understood what are all the data types we have, and we created our first graph, right? If we want to give some color to this graph, again in the marks part we have a you know setting, I can say we have a option or setting called as color. So if I want to give the color to my graph, and if I want to give, for each subcategory, if I want to display the color, what I will do, I repeat, I'm saying that for each subcategory, I want to display a separate color. Then what I will do, I will drag the subcategory and I will drop it on the colors part. Then for each of my subcategory, it will display one separate colors. And if I click on show me option, that is if I, by clicking on show me option, either we can open this or we can close this. If we close that, you can see the subcategory here for which subcategory which color is used will be shown here. This is basically called as legend. Let's discuss about this legends also detailedly going forward. Okay, so this is about it. And along with the, if I'm just moving my cursor, you can able to see the subcategory name and the sales, sales also in that tooltip. We can call this as tooltip basically. Okay, let's not discuss more technically. If I'm just, moving my cursor, you can able to see subcategory and sales over there. If without cursor also, if you want to see the sales beside the bar, still we have an option. We have a something called as T option here, that is label. If I click on this, it will display the, sales beside the graphs. Okay, like this we have a label option towards the top here, the T option, and we have the same option here also, label T part, right, this one. Okay, uh, this is how we will create the graphs. Am I clear to everyone? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, Rupesh is saying got it. And see, creating graphs is, especially creating, inbuilt graphs is easy. But for the inbuilt graphs also, we need to understand for what kind of data, how, what type of graph we need to create. And accordingly, by going forward, when we learn each and every graph, we will understand everything, for which types of, for which kind of data, which graphs we will prefer, and what is this all graphs about. Once we start visualizations concept, we will learn each of this graph very detailedly. Okay, and we have many concepts, many advanced concepts. We will learn all the concepts very detailedly. Okay, this is our first graph. In the same way, we can create any graphs. If you can see, if in the same, suppose this is one of my Tableau workbook. Okay, you can see here Tableau book 1, right? In the work, in this workbook, if I want to create multiple graphs also, I can do that, because this is sheet 1, right? Let me rename this sheet. If I want to rename this sheet, simply I will double click on the sheet 1. Okay, and I can write it, I can rename it as I want. Suppose I want to rename it by subcategory, subcategory wise sales. Okay, and just renaming it as subcategory wise sales. Immediately after renaming, you can see whatever I named this sheet, that is visible to us towards the top also, right? In the center top, you can see the sheet name. It is, we can even display that. And if we can want, we can just double click here also, and we can edit also from here. You can see immediately whenever I rename the file here, you can see the same name we got here. This is basically called as sheet name. If we want, if I double click here on the on this one, it will open an editable page. Here I will just select this, and if I want, I can even edit it like whatever, maybe color. I will click on OK, then it will get some colors like this. Okay, this will be my first sheet. If I want to create second sheet, what I will do next, here basically, we have three options, three icons. First is called as sheet. If I click my cursor here, it is showing me new worksheet, right? And the second icon is for opening new dashboard. We have dashboards concept in Tableau. Dashboard is nothing but a collection of graphs. Here I can able to see only one graph in this sheet. Okay, if I create another sheet, if I want to create another sheet, I need to click on this new worksheet. Then it will open whatever graph I will create here. I can able to see another graph in this sheet, but we can see the graphs individually over here. One graph in this sheet, another graph in this sheet. But instead of that, if we want to see some graphs some 3 to 4 graphs in one single page or in one single view, we will create dashboards. Okay, dashboard is something which helps us to basically view all the graphs together in one single page in real time. We will work on dashboards only. Of course, to create the dashboard, first we need to create sheets, then only we can create dashboard. But in real time, we will work on Tableau dashboards. Okay. Next, we have a concept called as new story. That is, we have three concepts here: creating sheets, creating dashboards, and creating stories. So stories is also will be very important and interesting. How in dashboards we can see the collection of graphs, I can say, in one page. In stories, how we can see, suppose in any book, how we can see, like page wise page it will be there, right? If we have a story inside the book, we will have some lines we will have in first page, then second page, then third page. In the same way, we have something called as story here, and each graph we can I can say it as a collection of pages. In each page we can create one graph like that. It will be something like a book only. We can see practically it, instead of saying like this. We have all these concepts in real time. We will work on dashboards and stories only. We will learn everything very practically, that too using real time databases going forward. Okay, now as I clicked on new worksheet, let me create one more graph quickly. Okay, so previously I created subcategory wise sales, right? Now let me create, what do you want me to select? Maybe category. Okay, I'm just double clicking it, subcategory and sales. Okay, I just analyzed only subcategory wise sales. Yeah, I'm analyzing category and subcategory. That is, in our data, we are having 4 categories. That is furniture, 3 categories, sorry. Furniture, office supplies, and technology. Inside a furniture category, we are having some subcategories like that. And this is a sales, right? So if we are analyzing this kind of hierarchical level of data, the best way to choose the best graph will be side by side bar. We have one chart called as side by side bar. I'm just clicking that. You can see with one click my graph is created, and you can analyze this graph very for this kind of data. If we use this graph, we can analyze it very perfectly. It is showing me this is one subcategory. Inside the furniture, I'm having this many subcategories, like office sales, and the subcategories belonging to this office sales. And we have technology and the subcategories for the technologies, correct? And this will be my sales. Okay, in y-axis I will have my sales. Like this we can analyze. Let me click on T option to label the sales on it. See, in furniture, we have a category called as furniture. In that furniture, I got maximum sales on chairs. Chair is my subcategory. By selling chairs, I got the maximum sales. And my sales is 3,28,449 sales I got. And the minimum sales, I can say, maybe by on the furnishings. Like that, I have some bookcases and I have some tables. Like that, we can analyze. We have many concepts going forward, like drop lines, trend lines, forecasting lines. By using that, how we will analyze everything, how we will analyze the maybe profits and losses, the flow of sales, everything we will learn going forward very practically. Okay, and this is the technology. And even we can sort the data. Just observe, I'm just sorting it in the descending order. You can observe it sorted the data in the subcategory level only. I didn't choose anything. I didn't say to Tableau that I want to sort the data in the subcategory level, but by default with one click it sorted my data in the subcategory level, which helps me to understand the data very easily. In the furniture subcategory, this is my sales, highest sale, lowest sale, medium sales, like that. In this category, this is my sales. I can understand the on which product. By seeing this, our client can really understand very quickly on which product he is getting minimum sales, and so that he will take some measures to he can understand easily, and he can think like he need to take some measures to increase this profits, right? Like that. So in technology, these are our sales, like this. Okay, is that clear? This is just some ways of creating the graphs. Going forward, we have many concepts. Concept wise, we will cover. Will you share the raw files? Yes, yes, Prakash. Once you get register, okay, daily wise, you will get the access. Once you got registered with us, we will give you one link. In that link, daily wise videos will be uploaded, and concept wise, once I finish the concept, I will upload my notes to you. First of all, I will give a notes, okay, for you. Concept wise notes I will provide. Along with that, all these databases, this may be this superstore. Now we connected to only Excel file. Whatever files we will use in the complete Tableau, all the raw files, actually, yes, you are asking about the raw files only. Actually, all the raw files, and we will work on SQL Server database also. Okay, if I will cover some of the basic concepts in SQL Server, and by connecting the SQL Server, we will learn how to work in Tableau. So I will share all the databases of that SQL files also, and I will show you the complete process how to do that. But uh, I won't share this workbook here. Whatever I created in the class, I won't share that. If I share also, for the Excel file it will work, but for the database, if I share also, it is of no use. You cannot access it, because once you open my local computer's server name will be different, and yours computer server name will be different, right? You cannot able to access that files. That is the reason I won't share these files. I mean, this complete workbook, whatever I created now, this one I won't share. If you want, I can share for Excel files, that is okay. But for if I share also for SQL Server, it won't work in your laptops. So, but all the raw files I will share. We will learn everything practically. You will get all the videos. So I suggest you to, by watching the videos, if you can, whatever I taught in the class, if you can able to practice on your own, then only that will be better for you for practice purpose, and then only you will get some doubts, right? So we can do like that. I will share all the raw files. I will share the notes. We will, you can able to see the videos also. Okay, got it? Great. So this is about this. Now I can rename this file as maybe category wise and subcategory wise sales, right? See, category wise and subcategory wise sales. I just double clicked. I will edit. Maybe if I want, I can even change the what we call this font. It can even increase the size. We can make it bold. We can change the color. Everything we can do. Okay, like this. No, no, no. I didn't talk. This is our second class only. I didn't talk anything. Once the registration is done, I will show the Tableau installation process. Actually, I will show you how to install Tableau. I will show you how to install SQL Server. Everything practically in the classes only. Okay. Maybe I will ask anyone to share your screen, and I will show the same complete process in your laptops, and the remaining people should follow the same process by watching the video. If you are stuck anywhere, if you got any errors, I will help you in the installation process of Tableau and SQL Server initially. Going forward, we have many Tableau products. Actually, about the Tableau products I discussed in the previous class, we have Tableau products called as you know not only Tableau desktop, we have another Tableau products like Tableau server. which is used by mostly by the Tableau administrators. We will learn that also. Okay, we will have almost 3 to 4 classes on Tableau server. We have many options on Tableau server. Basically administrators will use that, but being developers, if we have some knowledge on Tableau server, that will be an added advantage for you. Okay, so I will teach Tableau server also practically, and along with that product we have one more product called as Tableau Prep. Tableau Prep is basically an ETL product. ETL in the sense extraction, transformation, and loading. So we have many ETL tools in the market, but for Tableau we have our own ETL product called as Tableau Prep. Okay, so I will show you. We will learn. We will have Tableau Prep also. We will have almost 3 to 4 classes or 4 to 5 classes on Tableau Prep as well. At that time, I will show you the installation process of Tableau Prep tool, and I will explain everything practically. Extraction, transformation, and loading in the sense, once if we have some data before connecting to the Tableau, we will connect it first to the Tableau Prep, and if needed, we will perform some kind of cleaning steps. If we want, we can do some kind of aggregations, I can say some kind of operations we will do. We will extract the data, we will make some kind of transformations over there, maybe some kind of cleaning steps over there, and after that we will load that data to the Tableau desktop. Okay, for that we will use Tableau Prep. We will cover this concept, this product also in our classes. Okay, so going forward, if you get register, we will cover, obviously being a Tableau developers or data analysts, we will work on Tableau desktop. So 90% of the course will not 90%, maximum we will learn the complete concepts of Tableau desktop. Along with the Tableau desktop, we will learn a SQL server. Some basics of the SQL server concepts I will cover. If any student if in my batch, if all my students have knowledge on SQL about up to that concept, maybe I will explain a little bit faster and quickly. But basically, if it, at least I have one student who is completely new to SQL, I will again explain them from scratch to up to some concepts, the basics concepts, maybe up to joins, because joins concept is important in SQL as well as in Tableau as well. So like that, I will cover some concepts in SQL Server also, and along with the Tableau desktop. One second. So we will cover Tableau desktop, we will cover SQL Server, we will cover Tableau Prep, we will cover Tableau Server, and we have one more thing, one more product called as Tableau Online. Okay, that is, after creating all the Tableau graphs, if we want to share our Tableau graphs or Tableau dashboards to any of our managers or clients, we will all the developers will have our own Tableau Online accounts, and by logging into that only, we will share all our graphs. So I will make you to create all that. I will show you the process of creating Tableau Online accounts and how we will share what all we can do on the Tableau Online servers and Tableau servers. We will learn everything very practically. This is about, I can say this all concepts we will cover in our class. And in Tableau Desktop, we have many concepts. Please check our course content once. We are covering many advanced concepts in the Tableau Desktop part as well. Okay, and the course duration is of 40 days. Course fees is of 6,000. Okay, and as this is about second demo class, by tomorrow our demo classes will end. That is Friday. Tomorrow we are having a last demo class. In tomorrow's class, let's discuss about how we will connect SQL Server to Tableau, and let's see about SQL Server tomorrow. How we will connect to the SQL Server, how what are the settings we need to do in the server part, SQL Server part, and in the Tableau level, how we will connect, how we will create graphs. And we have something called as calculated fields. The place where we will create all the calculations and all. Going forward, we will learn very deeply about the calculated fields, but tomorrow let's see a little bit about the calculated fields also. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Anyone?
Once we install this Tableau, Divya, it works for how many days? Because it's not licensed or licensed, I'm not
Yes,
sure.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Actually, Tableau Desktop is freely available only for 14 days. We will have the trial version. if once we install it freely, it will available for 14 days only. If we install it normally, but if we, for each, for every, in every batch, for every students, I will suggest them to, get any of the student IDs. If if you can make it, if you can bring any of the student ID of your, maybe your family or friends, any
Mhm.
student ID is okay. Maybe maybe not only BTech degree, anywhere, even for the pharmacy candidates, anyone, if they are
Mhm.
currently if their academics is the current year, if they are a current student, they will have their own student ID cards, right? Please
Mhm.
ask them to give you, to share you the picture of their ID card. If we log in as student by using that ID card, if we can able to install from that day, we will get 1 year of Tableau desktop free. For students, it is Tableau is providing a free for students for 1 year. So all my students will do the same process. Maybe if you cannot get it, if you, if possible, within 2 days or 3 days, till up to Monday. Maybe on Monday I will show you the installation process, because tomorrow is our last demo class, and Monday the link will be changed. And on the Monday, I mean, whoever get registered, they can log in on Monday. And on Monday I will show you the installation process. If you can able to bring any student ID card picture till Monday, that is fine. Or else, by using the trial version, you can install for now, and within before finishing 14 days, please try to get a student ID card. By using that, if you can download and install, I mean, by using that, if you can install the desktop, you will get 1 year free. Just a student card, okay? Student, any student ID card photo, we need to upload it. And by uh, by uploading that, we will get freely, we can use it freely for 1 year. I will show you that
After
process
that,
also.
it should be like we should pay for it, right? After 1 year, we want.
Yes, actually, the concept is that, but we generally don't pay for Tableau. I don't suggest that, because
Mm-hmm.
once we get any jobs, we will get it in our companies only. No, so
Okay.
basically, what I suggest, if you want practice purpose, if you can, if you really want to pay, you can do that. But or else, maybe after 1 year, if you can able to get another student ID card, with that student ID card you can log in, right? Like that also it will work. So it's again, it's our personal choice.
Because
But
nowadays,
just for
Divya,
practice purpose, yeah. Hmm.
IP address, I think few softwares are not unable to install again.
No, no, it's not that. With student
Okay.
IDs, no problem will be. Again, that is what I'm not suggesting you, without student IDs for 14 days free trial. Once it is done, maybe with the another email ID also you can try. I'm not saying that, because sometimes it work and sometimes it won't work again, as you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it may work, but again, in the same laptop here, especially for Tableau, if you are downloading, if you are using 14 days free trial by using one Gmail ID, okay? But basically you installed it in your local system, right? What it happens after 14 days, if you use another Gmail ID, again you are going to install in the same system, right? If that
Mm-hmm.
is so, you cannot use the same version of the Tableau. We have many Tableau versions. If now for the first time, if you are using the latest version, you need to use the before version of that for the second 14 days of trial. So if that, in that case you follow, it will work. But the same version of the Tableau you cannot able to download in your system for the second time,
Okay.
like that. That is
Oh,
again only for 14 days of trial version. 14 days of trial. I'm using, imagine I'm using one mail ID. I downloaded it. After 14 days I am using another mail ID. But if I'm downloading the same version, it won't allow me to do so. It will, they can understand that we are doing this thing, and it won't allow. If we use another version, the lowest, if now if we are using 2024.5 version, next time we will use 2024.4 version. There won't be any differences. Almost from 2020, all the versions of the Tableau we will have the everything is same. No changes at all. Before 2020, we had some, I mean, from 2020 we got some updates, but all the, from last 4 years, no updates, and just versions they are releasing, but everything is same.
so for how many days the classes will be nine? I mean, Like
40 days. It's 40 days.
no, for 9, I mean, it starts by 9 p.m. and when you will shift to 8 p.m.
That is again, see, from, as I said, from Monday, the link will be changed. Okay. And I need to cover few concepts to balance the both the batches. Once I finish the concepts, maybe 3-4 days. I'm not sure. I
Just
will just,
before. Okay.
yeah, because
For them, you have
just for,
completed only 5 to 6 classes, Divya.
yeah, that's the concept actually. But just for
Okay.
completing, or else just for clubbing the batches, I can't skip and I can't say quickly or speedily, right, in a hurry.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
reason I'm not saying particularly like 3 days or 4 days, 4 days. But however, we will cover slowly all the concepts. But once it is done, we will shift this timing. And again, yes, Prakash, I forgot to tell you, the timing will change from, now you are logging it at 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., right? Going forward, after maybe 3-4 days, the timing will change from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay. Is that timing okay for you, Prakash? 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST.
Ma'am, I'll have to see. I'm not sure. I think I'll have some conflicts, but I'll check and let you know.
All right. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So, yes, if that is so, Sweta, do you have any other doubts, or if anything, everything is clear, I will end the session for today.
Yeah. You can end the session, Divya. Everything is
Okay.
clear.
Okay. Okay, Prakash, that's good. Okay, Monica, let's meet in tomorrow's class. Okay. I hope
Yeah.
you also don't have. Do you have any doubts, Monica?
No, no,
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay. Okay. Great. All right, guys. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you.